Hello. In this video, I've put together some tips that are helpful if you are learning NX for the first time, but you've used other CAD programs before. So if this fits your background, you might find these tips helpful. We'll be going over these 5 main topics. So, number 1 on our list is the command finder. The command finder is this search window in the upper right-hand corner. Using this window, you can find commands that you want to use, or maybe even commands you're not sure if they exist. So if I use it, I can find where the sweep command is, and it will also show you where they are in the ribbon bar. Additionally, if I wanted to do a fillet, I can type in fillet, but in NX, fillet actually is named edge blend, and the command finder was able to locate it despite the naming discrepancy. So, number 2 on our list is the F1 help. So, looking for help in terms of how-to tutorials or how do I do a sweep, how do I do an extrude, those types of things are actually tricky to find on the internet. Relevant material is kind of far and few between, so my go-to place to find how-tos for NX is their F1 help documentation. And you can get there by clicking on this question mark or by hitting the F1 key. So upon hitting that, you should open up a browser window that displays a lot of information about NX, and it should be matched to your NX version. By clicking the button, it should automatically bring you to the page that matches your software version. So if I wanted to find, similar to before, that edge blend, I'm going to type it in and search for it, and I will get information such as what an edge blend is and how it works. Or I can also find detailed information regarding the edge blend command dialog box. So in the dialog box, I get much more detailed information regarding the command. So going back to NX, I'm going to click on edge blend, and you can see that there are a lot of options. So if I didn't understand what a variable radius is, I can go to the documentation in the web browser and look for the variable radius information in the dialog box section and read it and interpret it that way. It's much more specific and relevant than if I were to do a general Google search. Okay, so number 3 on our list are hotkeys. Hotkeys that I have found particularly useful for the new NX user. F8 is a useful button, so clicking F8, I bring the view of the part to its nearest orthogonal plane. So if I tilt it this way and I click F8, I am snapped to the nearest plane. Similarly, if you are in a sketch and you want to make your view orthogonal to the sketch plane, you can hit Shift F8, and that will bring you perpendicular to the sketch plane. Another useful hotkey is if you've gotten yourself a little disoriented and your part's way out there, hit Control F to fit the view to your screen. And then if you want to get an easy trimetric view, hit the Home key, and that will bring your part into the trimetric view. The last hotkey is Control F2. So if you are using a space navigation device or like a 3D mouse, sometimes you're working, let's say you're working up here, and as you're tilting, you see that the motion is rotating about a point that's very far away. I'm going to hit the Control F2 button, and that's going to allow me to specify a new rotation point. So I'm going to specify it closer to where I'm viewing, and when I now rotate, it seems to be rotating about the new specified point. Let's go to number 4. Number 4, we'll discuss the extensions, file extensions for parts, assemblies, and drawings in NX. So for this part that I have displayed, it is an assembly constructed of a center pole and 27 steps, and I have also a drawing for this assembly. So file-wise, looking at all the parts that make up this assembly, notice that every part ends in a .prt. There is no distinction between drawings, assemblies, or piece parts. This is something specific to NX. There are benefits to them doing it this way, though it takes, it'll be a lot to get into right now. But just be aware that this is how they structure their file extensions. So general user interface is number 5. And I want to go over just very surface level how to navigate in the NX environment. So what I have open currently is an assembly. And if you look off to the left-hand bar, this is the assembly navigator that I have open. And this shows the assembly structure of this assembly. If I wanted to look at a feature tree, I would come down to the part navigator. Given that this is a assembly, there isn't very much going on there, so let me open one of these. And now if you look in the part navigator, you'll see the different features it took to make this part. Back in the assembly, if we look at the constraint navigator, you can see all the constraints that are used to put this assembly together. And that's about it. I hope that was helpful. Thanks.